It's the Sheriff Podcast, baby. Yeah. It's the Sheriff, AHL Man of the Year. 500 pro fights in his career. Got the record for most ice fights in a season. You fought the Sheriff, lucky you're still breathing. It's the Sheriff, AHL Man of the Year. 500 pro fights in his career. Got the record for most ice fights in a season. You fought the Sheriff, lucky you still. We filmed the pod today. You listening tomorrow. The heavyweight champ, yeah, Sean McMahon. 13-year pro, yeah, he holding it down. Big man playing it right, thumbs up to the crowd. Rookie season, suited up, most tilts in the A, man. Sheriff badge on the bucket, heavy can play, man. Podcast trending, thanks for rocking with us, bro. Lived out his dream, yeah, he played in the show. Danny Grange managing, helping us gain shine.
Welcome everybody to an exclusive edition of The Sheriff. Boy, oh boy, do I ever have a treat for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in my professional career, I had over 500 fights. Now, most of these fights, I was the instigator. I was the one to ask the other opponent, do you want to go? There was one player in my career that asked me to go every single time. But what the most interesting thing is about this whole scenario is when I would oblige, the response would be, yes. And I'll tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that is probably one of the most intimidating things that a fighter could do to show that kind of emotion. Now, a lot of guys will smile like George LaRock, but the guy that I'm about to announce right now, my next guest, had the best stance, was the toughest guy, and had the best winning percentage in hockey history. And I'm going to announce him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, I would like to introduce to you my guest tonight. He hails from Toronto, Ontario. At 6'4", 225 pounds, he is a heavyweight. He was drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 6th round of the 1996 entry draft. He is an alumni of the London Knights, Sudbury Wolves, and Barrie Colts. He is considered the best technical fighter and has the best winning percentage in hockey fighting history. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my arch rival and new friend, Mr. Brandon Sugden. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good.
This feels like a little bit of El Nino, or what is that feeling?
Yeah.
I'm really excited to have you on here, buddy. And in fact, I mean, we have an absolutely wild crowd here at Bottomline, so try to bear with the noise, buddy. I apologize. So, Brandon, like, there's a reason why this jersey is back here, this Danbury Trashers jersey. And what I wanted to do, buddy, was I wanted to make an announcement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call up another honorary guest that I'm going to get you to announce. Come up here, buddy. Yeah. Introduce this incredible man.
This is Pinky. Pinky. Yeah, no, he's been around the league. Not the league. He's been around agencies and the hockey since I've known him since I was 17, 16. Great guy. So yeah, Pinky, there you go.
You mind holding this, brother, while I talk about it? Just hold it up high a little bit. So, yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Give it up. We clap for each other around here. So, Brandon, the whole point of this right now is I spoke to, I know you might not know him, but you know of him, Mr. AJ Galante, who is the founder of the Danbury Trashers with his father back in the lockout year. He has the Netflix special, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked it out, please check it out. Danbury Trashers on Netflix. He gives out a few awards, my man. He gives out legacy awards, but he also gives out the Bad Boys Club Award. And AJ allowed me to announce, this is breaking news, that Brandon Sugden will receive a Bad Boys for Life from the Danbury Trashers Award. And if you could put on the jersey as an honorary gesture, I'm sure everyone would really appreciate that in Danbury Trashers.
That's a little better than when Brandon got drafted by the Leafs. They didn't have a jersey for him.
Absolutely. So, this Trashers jersey here, it was the lockout year, buddy, when we were in the AHL, probably fought about 9 or 10 times that year. Man, you look really big in this jersey, buddy. This is unbelievable. It's almost like we rehearsed this.
I know.
This is incredible.
Crazy.
This is great. So, yep, Bad Boy Club, you are now a member. I know that they're going to do something a little bit more official and do a proper induction, but AJ did give me the green light to make this announcement. So congratulations, my man.
Thank you.
No problem, buddy. No
Well
problem.
deserved.
Well deserved.
So, we're just going to check this jersey for a tie down.
Yeah, do that, please. Please do that.
It's probably someone like his London Knights jersey his rookie year, second year.
No, I heard you have a couple cool stories, man. Do you mind sharing?
The good one here is a guy by the name of Darcy Harris played in the American League with Fredericton. He's I believe he's now a high school principal or something on the East Coast. I seen him on Terry Ryan's podcast recently. So Sugden and this Darcy Harris fought a bunch of times. And Suggy's gear would come off like Rob Ray all the time, right? So Darcy Harris says to him, he says, I'm not fighting you again, Sugden. You never tie down. So Sugden skates over to his bench, and God bless Don Brankley, legendary trainer of London Knights.
Rest in peace, Branks.
He says, Branks, pretend you're tying me down. Harris won't fight me unless I'm tied down. So Branks is in behind, doing him up and everything. But he's not really fucking doing anything. Sugar skates
That's
back
hilarious.
out for the face-off. He says, Brandon tells me back then that Harris is smiling. Says, okay, now we'll go. They drop, and as soon as everything comes off, jersey's gone. Harris's eyes turn like saucers and got fed again.
So no, I'm just gonna try to imagine this because I've been in that position before, having to fight this monster, right? So I'm thinking this guy's tied down. I've been complaining about it. Now I think he's tied down, and then I go to grab him, and I'm assuming the jersey came right off.
Yeah.
Immediately. Oh man, I feel bad for him. You were there live?
No, I didn't see it live.
You
but
didn't see it live.
Throughout Brandon's junior career and his pro career, we talked, and then last couple of years we've seen each other in person again a few times.
Right on.
Man's an absolute legend, right?
Absolutely, buddy.
Like, he's the last guy in my mind to be the OHL heavyweight king as a 17-year-old.
A 17-year-old to own the OHL. That's an
Great story about his rookie year.
Yes, let's hear it.
Represented by Darren Ferris, great agent. Represented Brandon throughout his entire career. Darren to jump agencies, take Brandon with him. And it's not like Sugar was putting NHL money into the pot, right?
That's not very nice, man. This guy is a really tough guy.
So he's a rookie, and the heavyweight champ of the league at the time was Nathan Perrott.
Oh, yeah. He's been a guest.
you had
He's
him
been a
on,
guest
yeah.
here. Shout
So
out to
Perrott's
Parrott.
in Oshawa, Brandon's in London. They only play each other twice. So he calls Darren Ferris in like October or whatever, first time they were playing Oshawa. Can I get Nathan Perrott's phone number? Darren Ferris says, why do you need Nathan Perrott's phone number? Well, I want to ask him if he'll fight me.
Right on.
So
Hey,
he calls
man.
Nathan Perrott. and-
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Right on. Can you confirm that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Thanks,
was
man.
amazing. Thank you for coming up. AJ, everyone appreciates it. And, yeah, thank you very much, guys. Right on. So, awesome. So, Brandon, I mean, that's quite something, man. I know it's probably a big honor. You know, shout out to AJ, Daniel Amesbury, Danbury Trashers, Champs Danbury. Everything they got going on is absolutely incredible. While we're kind of on this topic of honoring, I did talk to a really, really cool mutual friend of ours, buddy, Brian McGrattan, today. And I spoke to Gratz today. He was so happy, bro, that your name was brought up. He was so eager to come here. But Gratz, I got to spill the beans a little bit. Brian McGrattan has a high school reunion tonight. You know what I mean? So he just, you know, if I was a Brian McGrattan going to my high school reunion, I wouldn't want to miss that either, right? So now, a couple things that Brian said, though, a couple things that Gratz said was, first of all, he said, give him a punch in the gut for me, because you know you beat him up so many times, right? But so there you go, Gratz, that's for you, buddy. So now, Brian McGrattan, 6'5", 230. I would say there was probably maybe a 2 to 3 year stint where Brian McGrattan was the king of the NHL. He had the belt, man. He was fighting the most. He was beating everybody. Even Bugard went down from Gratz, right? So he told me, man, that when he was 14 years old, you guys first met, you guys played summer hockey, but that you taught him a lot of stuff. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yeah, we knew each other when we were really young, and then we kind of broke apart for a bit. We came back together, and I think it was my second or third year in the O, and he actually, because we hadn't talked in a while, and he said, Mr. Sugden, would you teach me how to fight? Because he had no clue, and he knew he was going to have to because he was so big. So, yeah, that's basically how that went down.
So the heavyweight champion of the NHL, and Gratz could play. Gratz probably still is incredible skater. You know what I mean? Like I got to play with this guy in junior, and he looked like an NHLer when we were in junior. He had all the tools. It was just about all the components adding up, which ended up doing for him. So now he has a part of his fight game that he's dominant. That's his reach and how he keeps people out. Brandon Sugar Sugden has a similar dominance. So would it be fair to say that the NHL King learned one of his best moves from Sugar?
Yeah. I taught him that.
You taught him a lot.
Yeah, because if you're that big, you have to hold him out. You gotta hold him out so they can't get hit. He's got arms the size of mine. So I mean, yeah. He learned that from me. So
he also he wanted to give his best. Wanted me to tell you that to give you your best. He's looking forward to seeing you. He was really adamant about me handing your phone number over. So expect a call from Gratz. Big shout out to Brian McGrattan, absolute legend in hockey, and he's a big fan of yours. There's a few other names, my friend. Yeah, it's hot in here, man. It's hot. It's hot. No offense, AJ. It's hot, bro. So a couple more people, Mr. Dan Sullivan, Mr. David Silverstone, that's in the building right now. Mr. David Silverstone is here. And before we go any further, guys, I would actually like to recognize my sponsor. So the TSP is powered by one of my great friends, Mr. Raymond LaRose, who's been there. Yep. Mr. Raymond LaRose, who's been there since day one, has supported every single episode of the Sheriff Podcast and plans to open a youth center in the near future. Nice. Shout out to Mr. Raymond LaRose. Thank you, my friend. So, other notables, Mr. Brett Angel. Mr. Brett Angel, he had a surgery recently, so he couldn't make it down. Mr. Doug McIver. I don't know how well you know Dougie.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's out in Winnipeg. He wanted me to give him his best as well. These guys are huge fans of yours, buddy, and they're like, make sure that you mention it. So I'm mentioning it, guys. I'm mentioning it. So I wanted to move things on a little bit here, Sugar. And we had a show about 3 months ago. We touched up on a lot of stuff. But after the show, I was kind of like, you know what? I really wanted to talk about this. I really want to talk about that. There was a lot of things that we didn't get into. So the one thing that I want to get into right now was the code. I want to talk to you about the code. And it really reminded me the other day when I was watching actually Daniel Amesbury and AJ Galante's podcast, the Danbury Trashers podcast. I was watching them, and Amesbury was explaining a situation of when his first year pro, he was playing against Justin Sawyer, who was about 3 or 4 years older, seasons, I'm talking like a hockey guy.
Yeah.
And pretty much what Sawyer was saying is, and this is, I quote, "It's our duty to keep each other employed. When we play, we fight. We keep each other employed. When we play, we muck it up. We mix it up. We get things to happen. We keep each other employed. It is our responsibility and duty to keeping our jobs. We are doing each other a big favor by playing a certain way." Now, my question to you, first of all, I gotta give a round of applause to that, because I heard Amesbury, and Amesbury, I really didn't give justice to the way that you said it on your show, but I absolutely loved it when I heard that, man. This type of stuff needs to be talked about more. I know you, buddy, you were such an honest fighter that you almost fought every single game. I want you to talk about these codes here, and I want you to talk about certain guys that kind of might pop out in your mind that really followed this stuff. Like, Probably Dennis is probably one of them.
Yeah, it's pretty much all fighters. I mean, follow that kind of code, and the same thing. Like most guys I fought, except for maybe one, were my friends. We go out to the bar afterwards, and you know, even with Spider said at that time, like fighters are the nicest guys, big tough guys, nicest guys. Another part, you know, if a guy goes down, you don't hit him when he's down, and if you're beating the crap out of him really bad, then you stop. You know,
that's what McGrattan said the first few times.
Yeah,
you did stop.
I did stop,
but you also beat the crap out of him.
Yeah. But same with Rob Ray too. Like I stopped with Rob Ray. You know, like he could tell he was out of breath and he was bleeding, and I stopped.
Syracuse against Binghamton.
Yeah.
And that's Rob Ray, Hall of Fame in the Buffalo Sabres Hall of Fame, all-time NHL legend.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the code. Yeah.
Right on. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So. I'm gonna make this episode a little bit more interesting because I'm gonna jump around a little bit. My next topic is rock, paper, scissors.
Oh.
So let's explain which rock, paper, scissors we're talking about. So it's 1, 2, 3, bam. It's not just 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2, 3, bam. 1, 2, 3, bam. Oh, you got me. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen.
That wasn't rehearsed either.
That was not rehearsed. Hey, man, I read everybody's mind. This is what this gentleman and his teammates would do playing for the St. Jean Chiefs.
Yeah.
Can you explain which gentleman and everything else?
Yeah, it was Burnett.
Garrett Burnett.
Yeah, Garrett Burnett.
Holy
and, we were trying to fight. I wanted to fight Christian.
Brandon Christian. God bless his soul.
Yeah, God bless his soul. So he didn't want to fight me. He wanted to fight Garrett. So I went over to Garrett, and he was lined up beside him, and I was pointing like I want to fight him, and he wants to fight him. So we go and we do paper, rock, scissors right beside Christian, and I end up winning. And Brennett's like, "I'm like, get back over there." I'm going and chased him down the ice. He didn't go, but. It was pretty funny, actually. It was first time I saw it. I just thought it would be funny for the fans, you know.
So, but you guys did that more than once, man. I seen a bunch of videos. You guys made it a thing. I think it was like for like a month or something.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. The league probably told you guys you had to stop or something. So, so now, all right. So I mean, we're on the topic. A big part of our base is hockey fight fans. We're going to have to get into that starting lineup because I know a lot of people might have missed that segment of the last episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, the toughest starting lineup in hockey history, this guy was a part of it. Let's see if we can remember.
Okay.
Who would we put at center? Let's do the guy that led the NHL in fights for like 3 years.
Cote.
Okay, so let's put Cote at center.
Okay.
We got to have you on the right side.
Yeah, I'm on the right. Got Burnett on the left.
Garrett Burnett on the left, the guy that would eat polar ice and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you got Matthew Rabi on D.
Matthew Rabi, that looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah.
Apparently, man. I don't know.
That's what he told me.
Rabi, I'm sorry, bro. These guys are saying natural. I can't believe it. Kudos to you, bro.
And I can't replace the last one. Who was the last one?
Steve.
Oh,
Bossy! The only man to TKO, yours truly.
I remember that fight. He was. Oh my God! Probably one of the hardest punches I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I could tell you.
Yeah.
I confirm.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, Steve Bosse, Brandon Sugden, Garrett Burnett, Matthew Rabi, Patrick Cote. All at once, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you're a tough guy on the other team and you're going out there, I just got to mention, Basil Jones, you've called me 5 times in a row during my show, brother. He's one of my reffing partners. Shout out to Basil Jones. So, like, if you're a tough guy facing that, so the most intimidating part would be during the national anthem.
Yeah.
Because I know that there was pictures of all you meatheads right beside each other. Yeah. It's like, Jesus, like, so you could be like, all right, well, I feel pretty good. So I gotta try to get the, like, if someone that doesn't have a long reach. Okay, so I gotta try to get the guy with the shortest reach. So they're all 6'4", 6'5", so they all have long reaches. Oh, but Bosse, he's only 6'1". Oh, but it's Bosse.
That's Bosse.
So I guess I just don't have a choice. And then maybe you just gotta play. Yeah, I gotta stop banging the table, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe you just gotta play rock paper scissors by yourself. You just gotta psych yourself out. And then it was that. But like, was there like I can only imagine what it was like. Like, I actually didn't see that 5 lineup against our team.
No.
What were some of the reactions, man? I know you were watching that.
Oh yeah.
You were watching those guys. Like, what was going on?
Their eyes were just like, and I think they only had 2 fighters on their team. Like, they you know, and so yeah, like that was the most insane. Even the fans, because it was a away game, and the fans were all just like with their mouths like wide open, like, what is going on here? So yeah, that was pretty. I'd love it if I was against Atlanta, but I mean, most people aren't like that.
So the last Quebec thing, maybe we'll come back again, but the last Quebec thing that I want to bring up right now, ladies and gentlemen, was, I believe you were in the game when Mr. Garrett Burnett threw the net on the St. George's goalie.
Yeah, I was there. And he was skating around with his, and he's a huge, well, rest of his soul too. He's a monster. So no one wanted to go home, and I'm on the ice with him, and so we have a line brawl, and all of a sudden he's getting off the ice, and he breaks away from the ref, and he goes after their goalie, and the goalie's just looking around and sees him, and he hides behind the net, and Garrett just goes and grabs the net and just flattens him with it against the wall. It's hilarious. And then bench brawl, and
both benches were cleared after that, and then I guess Garrett got his fight after that, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
but the extremes that the boys had to go to get what they wanted was unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I'm a little bit hyper right now, so I'm gonna bring it right down, and then we're gonna get hyper again. So right now, what I want to talk about is hockey over boxing. We were just having a great discussion with our boy David Silverstone outside, because he started boxing recently, in incredible shape, by the way. But hockey over boxing, you're a teenager, you're doing really well. I've heard multiple reports that you could have been a really good pro boxer, but you chose to play pro hockey. You're rated for the draft, but I believe your mother had some influence. Do you mind speaking about that?
Yeah, she. Well, we had boxers live at our house because my dad was a trainer. So she saw how they got.
Big shout out to your dad, by the way, Mr. Sugden, absolute legend, wrestler, boxer.
Rest in peace, Dad. Yeah, so she saw how all the fighters got punchy, right? So when my dad was like, we should steer him towards boxing, and my mother was like, no, hockey. So instead of fighting with gloves on, I decided to fight with gloves off. So that's part of the reason. Yeah, my mom's like, no boxing.
Another, while we're on the boxing topic, another gentleman that I forgot was Mr. Spider Jones.
Wow, yeah.
Mr. Spider Jones. I actually spoke to him today. Spider was really, really upset that he couldn't make the trip downtown, but he wanted me to pass on his love. And man, is he ever a big fan of you, bro? I know that your father was pretty good buddies with Spider, right?
Yeah, and me and Spider have known each other since I started boxing, basically. Yeah, like I said in the last podcast with him, he was at every gym, and he's just a great man. Like, he's just an awesome guy. So shout out to Spider.
Yeah, big shout out to Spider. Yeah. Mentor, motivational speaker, all around good guy, Mr. Spider Jones. Right on. All right, so Brandon, I'm gonna pretend that I'm a young Brian McGrattan. When I had Ryan Reeves on the show in the beginning of the season, I was talking to Revo about the hockey stances, and man, your fighting stance was so unique, bro. It was very intimidating. I mean, if you don't mind, if you might be able to show it off a little bit.
Okay. Well, yeah. So
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, just bear with me. I'm very intimidated right now. It's the best technical fighter of all time. He's putting his dukes up in front of me. I don't even know what to do.
Well, what I always do is I would always just put my shoulder up And
Okay,
I
so
have
the
my
first
hand.
thing was the shoulder.
Shoulder
I remember
up.
that.
Yeah.
That was. I'm like, man, how am I gonna get this guy?
Yeah.
How am I gonna get him?
And then I take this hand and I spin it downwards. So if you grab me, I'd be on the.
So if someone, just a regular person that just wanted to come in and grab you, they're coming in like this.
Yeah.
And you're getting them right away.
Yeah,
Okay, I see that.
Yeah. And then the other key is always to have your elbow facing the ceiling. So now, if you throw an overhand right.
Okay, so
I'm
if a guy
protected
comes
here.
in and tries to go, woo.
Yeah. So you're always
So
like that.
So this is what it is.
Yeah. That was the whole thing. In that way.
Okay, so let me ask you. Okay, well, first of all, yeah, thank you very much. So, Dom, let me ask you a question. So, if you taught Gratz how you just taught me, then how did you kill him so much? How did he not know what was going on? Gratz, I'm messing with you, man. You are the NHL heavyweight king. You don't worry, buddy. Your legacy is complete. How did you beat Gratz so often, man? You must have just turned it up a little bit to people that you've taught.
Well, I didn't teach him everything.
But you taught him how to score. You taught him how to.
I didn't teach him that. So, yeah.
So another person I also wanted to bring up, Suggs, was Mr. Gary Agnew.
Best coach in the world.
Yeah, best coach in the world. I did reach out to Eggs, but I mean, I only have him as a friend on Facebook, so I don't even think he's read the message yet or whatever. But I kind of wanted to get into, a guy like Tortorella that's in the NHL now. I would say he's probably the end of the old school era. You got guys like Sheldon Keefe and people coaching these days, and Tortorella. But like, to me, Tortorella was kind of like Agnew. Was he like? He wasn't my coach. You'll have to tell me that. But like, would you say Agnew was like the standard for the old school? Because man, he was really old school.
He was a player's coach, and if you do good. If you lose 2-3 games, you're bagging the whole time.
Yeah.
There's a story in St. John's. Me and Alexander Svitov.
Okay.
We both didn't drink.
Okay.
So the curfew was after a game. Curfew was midnight. So we go to the Cotton Club, strip club at the place.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've probably been there.
I'm not sure.
So we're there, and then all of a sudden Ags comes in with the assistant coach and walks over to me and Sveets, and he's like, "Sure, Sveets, you're fine." And we're like, "We don't drink. What's the difference? I mean, we just be sitting in our room anyway. Like, what's the difference sitting here? We're not getting drunk." And so he said, "Buy us around the shots and just get back to your room." So that was Ags. Like he was just a player's coach, but on the ice, I mean, he knew the game so well. But I really liked Alex. He was the best coach I ever had in my life.
Big shout out to Gary Agnew, man. The one thing, because like I've always told you, I think I'm good buddies with Dan Sullivan. He'd always be telling me all the old London night stories and stuff, and I know that Agnew was his favorite coach too. But the one thing that Sully would tell me, because I talked to him today, Agnew absolutely loved you, bro. You were his gem. Well, just imagine, Sugar, like if you're a coach and you have a guy on your bench that could literally beat anybody up on the other side, how good of a feeling would that be? How confident would you be as a coach? You know that, my team's not going to get run over tonight. I got Sugar's right here, man.
Yeah,
right?
Probably. So,
no, that was unreal. Okay, so one of the things that I got a comment on that people wanted us to explain a little bit more was your nickname. Now, let's go over the sugars. You say it. Do you know the sugar? All the sugars I'm talking about.
Yeah, Sugar Shane Mosley, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Okay, so Sugar Shane Mosley.
Yeah.
There's Sugar Shane Leonard, but then there's Brandon Sugar Sugden.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Those are the three sugars. So now. We talked about it a little bit last episode. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the writer for the Toronto Maple Leafs, tries to take responsibility for your nickname. They say that when you went to training camp, that, Brandon Sugden, he was bobbing, he was weaving, so we called him Sugar. We're responsible for that name. That is not true, is it, Brandon?
No.
Can you tell us the real story?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it came from Worcester.
Worcester.
Yeah, Steve Plow, Liverpool's son. And Scary Mary Watkins.
Scary Mary.
Scary Mary.
Shout out to Scary Mary.
Scary,
Probably one of the best skating instructors.
Oh yeah, she was always
Yeah.
not up. You go this way, yeah. But yeah, no, she was really good. And
Joel Ward made the NHL from Scary Mary.
yeah, so I was trying to get off the ice because she was there, and after practice.
Where's McMorrow? Where's Sugden? They're not here. Oh, okay, guys, we're just gonna do some quick feet drills. All right. Right on.
Well, yeah. So then, yeah, Steve just said this is our sugar man. You know, meaning Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Shea Mosley, and it just stuck.
Can you say the gentleman's name again?
Steve Plow.
Steve
Plow. Larry Plow's son, and Larry Plow, I think, was coach.
Shout out Steve Plow. One of the best nicknames in hockey. And what year was that?
Oh, that was.
It was a while ago.
Yeah,
right?
that was
Usta.
like.
So we're talking like early 2000s.
99, 2000.
99.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Long
You know
time.
what? This is a big honor right now because I just felt this incredible burst of energy. We got to give a shout out to Mr. Jeff Zaire, who's in the building. Truly. Mr. Jeff Zaire drove from Woodstock, Ontario, to come to this event. Thank you, Jeff. That's the rowdy guy in the background, ladies and gentlemen, that's making all the noise. Jeff Zaire. Right on, man. All right, so. Okay, so we got the sugar out of the way. The Toronto Maple Leafs, I was just joking about that. It was a writer for the Toronto Maple Leafs that made up this story. He must have just made it up, right?
He must have.
But you know, they're trying to get some readers, trying to claim one of the most incredible nicknames in hockey. So that's that. So now, what I kind of wanted to get into now, Brendan, was I kind of wanted to get into the Syracuse Crunch. I wanted to talk about how special it is to play in a war memorial arena, in a blue-collar town like Syracuse, and for those really rambunctious fans in Syracuse, buddy.
Yeah.
Rambunctious.
Very rambunctious.
Rambunctious you are.
Yes, but it was good because you couldn't walk down the street without someone, hey, sugar! You know, bowled for free, golf for free, everything,
Yeah.
and you know, everybody knew you.
Yeah.
I like playing in towns like that, you know? They're not stuck up, and they're all blue collar, like you said, blue collar people, and they're down to earth. So it was great, and the arena is awesome. When like a place gets jumping.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
Oh,
cool.
buddy. Like, okay, so. Let me just tell one little story here. So in the War Memorial, do they have a new rink yet, or they still play there?
I think they still play there.
They still play there. Wow. In the War Memorial Arena in Syracuse, the visiting dressing room is very small, very uncomfortable. What made it more uncomfortable was this guy on the other side. And I'm telling you, I touched up a little bit about this in our last episode, that when you were gonna play Brandon Sugden, you couldn't make any mistakes. You had to have an incredible night's sleep the night before, an award-winning pregame meal, maybe another little nap after the pregame meal. Then you had to go to the rink, everything had to work out, every piece of equipment had to feel incredible, and then, you know, everything had to be just going, and that's to get a draw out of this guy. That was to get a draw out of this guy. Everything had to be perfect. But one of the things in the visitors' dressing room, and I think it was you that wrote it, you could tell us after. You go where the sticks are, and it has written, "I'm not playing tonight due to Sugdenitis." Let's talk about Sugdenitis.
I thought it was a Sugden flu, but it was Sugdenitis?
I mean, in the dressing room it says Sugdenitis. Man.
Sugdenitis?
So
Okay.
the Sugden flu, Sugdenitis, same thing.
Same thing,
Same
yeah.
thing, meaning for the same thing. Do you want to explain what it is? Or should I?
You should.
Because
You should.
So people like me that had to battle with this man, I have it right now. Sometimes we would get this thing called the Sugden flu. So what the Sugden flu was just the knowledge of knowing that you're gonna have to see this probably in the first couple minutes of the game. One of the most incredible things about it was this man's smile on his face with no two front teeth. He's got his teeth in now. No two front teeth, big smile, wherever this is, It was unbelievable, man. It was so intimidating. But I'll tell you what, I knew that if I could get through an away game at the Syracuse War Memorial, I could get through anything in life. So thank you, bro. Thank you very much. There you go. Look at this thing. What? Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen. No, keep it up for a second. Let's go back to the stands. But face them. Let them see what I had to go through, man. Look at this. What would you do? What would you do? Oh man, that's unreal, bro. Thank you. That it's not nostalgic for me. Nostalgic means great memories. Okay, that's great, man. That's great. I'm so hyped now. I don't even know where I was going with this, man. This is, but I'd say one thing though. This is by far the most enjoyable show that I've ever done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Incredible. You know what? I know the time's leaning down. Okay. But what I want to talk about before we go, dude, is the Quebec League, it was so notorious. And I just want I want people to kind of know. We talked about the starting five. We talked about guys that you got to play with. But I just want to talk about, since I have you here, we got two former LNAH guys, how good that league is and how much respect that they've gotten kind of even since we left. The league's grown. If you go to the teams that were the Chiefs, like if you go to Laval now, the teams, because it's the same fan base.
Yeah.
I still saw Sugden jerseys because I got to play in 2019. I made a comeback. Sugden jerseys all over the arena. I already touched up on Syracuse. I know that in London, like they said, you started in London, correct? So when you started in London, you were the heavyweight champ of the league. That's very impressive. Every single league that you went to, the point I'm trying to make is you were dominant. So I just wanted the viewers and listeners to understand that some guys, they have a couple good years. Some guys, they'll be good when they're young, maybe a year or two before they're done, they have another good year. But you had year after year after year, league after league after league with consistency, which I have to point out to the viewers and fans. The one league that I don't know about though was Russia. Oh. Now, did you get to fight over there, or was it like?
Yeah, but you got kicked out.
No, but like you personally, like how many fighting majors did you have when you were over there?
Maybe 15, I think, maybe.
So a fair amount.
Well, yeah, but no one ever went me straight up. Well, I actually started that warm-up brawl, and Putin actually said my name on TV.
On the state news?
The state news. He said, Canadian thugs, like this Brandon Sugden guy. Putin, yeah.
No, we don't mean anything. We're cool, bro. We're cool. We're good. You're good.
Well, yeah, no, because I started a warm-up brawl with Jaeger. I never knew how big he was.
Yeah, Amir?
Yeah. He's huge, and we were playing the poker in the hotel room the night before, and Svitov is on there too. And Svitov's tough as well. Yeah. So it was Jaeger, Svitov, and me, Darcy Vero, and Chief. God rest his soul.
Yes.
Yeah. So I started a warm-up brawl, and then just to see what was going to go on, and then the first shift, I started another brawl, and then another brawl, and they had to cancel the game about 5 minutes in because there wasn't enough players left to play.
Okay, so you're talking about so 5-on-5 brawls.
Yeah.
They're giving game misconducts to every fight after the first one, right?
Yeah.
So
the
everyone's
first one,
kicked out.
Everyone's kicked out. So they had to cancel the game. There wasn't enough players to play the game.
Jesus. That's unreal. That's unreal. So, I mean, okay, man. So there was a lot of names that were mentioned here. You know, Brett Angel, Dan Sullivan. Evan Katsopoulos is another one, bro.
Oh, Katsopoulos.
Katsi.
Yeah.
I was looking up some names, and I saw, you know how you played with a Tom Katsopoulos?
Yeah.
But there was two. There was Tommy Katsopoulos, Evan's brother, and then there was the other Tom Katsopoulos. So I called Tom to see what he was up to, and I realized that it wasn't him that played with you, it was the other one.
It was the other Tom.
But that Evan had played with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kotzi. So you know that clan.
Yeah.
Right on, bro.
Yeah.
There is guys that showed up today. I'd actually like to call the hockey boys up. Can the hockey boys come up? We got David Silverstone, including Raymond. Raymond, get up here. You too. Raymond's fucking brother. Everyone's up here. Get up here. Hockey boys up here. There was a lot of guys that wanted to come, Sugar, but these guys, look at this. These guys are the ones that showed up. David Silverstone, Raymond LaRose, Mr. Jeff Zare, Mr. Zare. There you go.
And Johnny Boy.
Johnny Boy! Yeah. So, I mean, the point of this right now, ladies and gentlemen, is just to show that, you know, the hockey community is very close-knit hockey community. There's people that care a lot. There's people right here that are good lifelong friends. These two have seen, how many years has it been? Jeff Zare and Brandon Sugden. 15 years. Yeah. Jeff Zare makes the drive from St. Thomas. Woodstock or St. Thomas? Woodstock, Ontario. Shout out to Woodstock, Ontario. So yeah, I mean, this is, you know, just to get the shot during the show instead of just the picture after. I just wanted to show the unity that we got here in the 6 in Toronto. So
we all about hockey. Let's go.
That's it, man. That's it. Our sponsor, Raymond. So, Sugar, man. I mean, yeah, bro. This was quite the night, man. Yeah. This was quite the night, man. I really appreciate you coming back. And you know, if there's anything anyone wants to say, man, yeah, man. Of course I want to shake your hand, brother. So if there's anything anyone wants to say, say it now. Come on, both to sign off. All right. Oh,
fight me, Amesbury.
Whoa.
No, I'm joking.
Right on. Cool. Well, I just appreciate you guys coming up there. Sugar, man.
Awesome. I was bugging
Arch
him a lot,
rival.
that's why.
You know what I mean? Big time rivals. Now
he
we're
knows,
friends.
he knows.
Friends to the end, bro. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yep.
I want to thank everyone else for tuning into the Sheriff for this incredible episode. Brandon Sugar Sugden, part 2, the finale. Woo!
It's the Sheriff Podcast, baby.